Welcome back for another book review. Today we're talking about this one. So this is Fairies, A Guide to the Celtic Fair Folk, and I never know how to say her name. Morgan Daimler, something, names, yep, this book. So this one really goes into a lot more of the academic side of learning about the fairies. As I've talked about many a time, I am not the world's biggest fan of the more academic writing style. I find it beyond boring. And it's just not a type of pagan that I like. It feels like the kind of the Christian dudes that are like quoting the Bible and being like, but it says here, and you're like, okay. It kind of gives me that vibe, but we have a lot more sources to pull from because I don't want to read a college essay when I come to my pagan books. And most of the time we're looking to the past, and I personally have a hard time with the validity of the past because we don't know, and so much of our history has been changed and adjusted to fit the context of the particular societies, and Christians really like to change the pagan stuff. So I just personally really struggle when you're like, but it says here back in the day. Okay, so a Christian changed some stuff 500 years ago. Does that make it more valid than people experiencing it in the now? And the author does have a little bit of a chip on the shoulder, a little bit of a better than thou attitude towards modern practitioners, and instead is really heavily reliant on this more academic sense. But all of that to say, I actually liked this book. Now again, it is incredibly boring. It is not my writing style that I enjoy at all, but it does serve a purpose. It serves a particular audience in the community, and for that, cool. I am not that person, but it's good. It talks about mostly the Irish, Welsh, Scottish, and then I was surprised there was just a little sprinkle of the Norse, which is always fun because that's the pantheon I'm most interested in. And this just confirmed the amount of trying to find anything on the Celtic regions is so much work because it's a lot. It is a lot. And this book goes into so much detail, and it's very much written in kind of more of an essay format where you got but this author says this, and this author says this, and this point says this, and this, and it's very academic. So if that is your thing, if that's what you're wanting from a book, this is for you. If you're like me and you're like, this is so boring. And again, the chip on the shoulder thing with the modern practitioners I also didn't really like, because again, I personally struggle with holding ancient text as the pinnacle of experiences because we know things have been changed. So why are we still holding it to such a high regard? And also things change over time. So all of that to say, if you are interested in learning about the fairies, this is pretty close to a must read, if not one of two must read books, because it really does go over a lot of detail. It is, again, prepare yourself for it. Again, if you're academic inclined, you're gonna love this. You're gonna be entertained. You're gonna be great. If like me, you're not though, and you're like, I don't really feel like reading either an extremely long essay or a small textbook, you're probably gonna be bored, but it is really good information. And I would pair this with one she's probably gonna hate with a burning passion, and that is Urban Fairies. I talked about it earlier this year, and those two combined, I feel like give you a really good insight into the fairies. This is more of the history, the academic, the fighting for what was and arguing about it, where Urban Fairies really goes into more of the modern context and modern experiences, and a very much more hands-on approach to dealing with things, where this one is really much more of the history and learning about different things. And honestly, she's got a few chips on the shoulder. She's got a big thing for the Victorian era, changing how we view the Fae. And there's just, again, every author has their things. I know I have mine. The people who worship the womb are not my people. They are not going to enjoy my books because I also am no, stop it. So every author picks their thing. But yeah, this one very much more academic based, very much wanting all the sources, all the conversation about that. That book, so good. If you want modern context and a modern experience, Urban Fairies. And the two combined, I feel like, will give you the perfect view for the Fae. There are thousands of books out there on it. These two, by far, so far, have been the best. I say so far, there are like so many books in the pagan market that it's hard to say like, yeah, these are the only ones, because I might just not have read the other ones and they might not even be published yet. People are coming out with books all the time. So yeah, those are my thoughts on this. I would love to know yours in the comments down below. As always, a huge thank you to my patrons. If you would like to support me and get access to exclusive content on Tuesdays, I post at the beginning and the middle of the month, I will post about my goals and things that I'm doing to hold myself and others accountable. And then the rest of the month on Tuesdays, we talk about different books. And then on Thursdays, I post my audiobook. And then on Saturdays is when I post about my personal practice, what I'm doing, what I'm going through, current musings and things like that. So if you want to check it out, it is always linked down below. Of course, here on the main channel, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. I post every single day. And until next time, thank you so much for watching, and blessed be.